There's a difference between knowing something and actually living it. I had learned so much about myself. I understood things I hadn't understood before. I was making different choices, but eventually, all of that knowing had to become a life. And I think that's when something really began to change. Because for me, there wasn't one single moment that everything changed. It happened over time. The things I had learned started becoming the way I lived. And that's when something shifted. Not because I suddenly had all of the answers, and not because my journey was complete, but because I had stopped looking outside of myself for direction. I had learned, I had grown, I had come to understand things in a way I never had before. And for the first time, I was beginning to live from that understanding. Not perfectly, but consciously. And little by little, what I knew within myself was becoming the way I actually lived. And that's when I realized this wasn't the end of the journey. It was the beginning of a new one. And this is where we begin to see the same shift happening within Levita. What she has learned is beginning to become the way she lives. She's no longer trying to become someone. She's no longer searching outside of herself. And she's no longer waiting for life to happen. She's participating in it. Choosing from what she knows, what she trusts, and what feels true for her. Because knowing who you are is only part of the journey. Eventually, you have to live as that person. Not perfectly, but in the choices you make, the things you trust, and the way you begin showing up in your own life. Because everything you've been through, everything you've learned, everything you've come to understand has brought you here. Not to the finish line, but to a new beginning. A place where your life begins to reflect the person you've become. Have you ever reached a point where you realized you were no longer waiting for your life to begin? You were finally living it. Sometimes the biggest change isn't learning something new. It's finally living what you've already come to know. When what you know, what you trust, and what feels true within you begins becoming the way you actually live. And when that happens, something begins to move, something begins to open, and that's when your life really takes off.